I did want to talk about my friend, the solar guy. This guy's awesome. He sells really good panels at a fair price. So I got 2 panels from him that same day, kicking the Pecron up from, charging on 2 100 watt panels to charging on 2 275 watt panels. And instead of never charging in a day, it charged in about 4 hours. So loving that, I told him to hold the last 2 that he had for me. And I just picked those up today. And I measured out the length that the PV cable is going to need to run to get from the bottom set of panels to the bathhouse, and it's more than I have. And so I just ordered a second line. So I'm not going to bring out the solar panels to just sit here for a week that I'm gone, not even charging anything. So I'm going to hold off on that, which means I'm wrapping up this video only mostly done. I'll have half the power connected to the Pecron. So I think I'm just going to, just to finish this off, I am going to cut that last piece of uni strut and get it fastened down to the bottom here. Happy days. It'll be happier when I get the second set of panels here, because then I know for sure, even on cloudy days like this, it's gonna, at least charge enough to keep up with the security cameras. The cool thing was, that guy appreciated my business so much, he threw in another panel. It shattered, but it's still a 240 watt panel. We're gonna test that out to see what exactly I can get out of that. Wow, this is nicely shattered. Like there's glass overlapping the frame. Whoa. Not sure if that comes across properly, but that is ugly. I think while I've got this out, not that it's ever going in, I think let's go ahead and test this on the Jackery. It would be a nice gesture for the sun to come out. It is not very sunny right now, but this is kind of the time I have. Oh gosh, this clip is just horrendous. Okay, connected the positive and the negative to the Jackery's little adapter, and let's see what we get. 6 watts, not super encouraging. I'm going to wait for the sun to come out before I make any judgments, but 6 watts is not super duper encouraging. When this was just plugged in from the 200 watt Renogy array, it was getting 55. This thing is super cracked. Not sure how well that comes up in this. So the question is, how many of these little cells are intact? Down here is obviously where the damage happened, but hey, it was free. I definitely won't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'll keep you posted on that. Hopefully the sun comes out soon. All right. Getting to work. Something I didn't see on that is that the battery is 99% full. The way the charge controller works is when it gets close to full, it starts to reduce the input. So it turns out that's not a great test. So let me bring my other Jackery out. Okay. All right, big Jackery. We're just going to borrow this from you. See what little Jackery makes of it. Now, little Jackery definitely can't. This is a 240 watt panel. Oh, it's getting 1 watt. So maybe it's just a crappy panel, but it's also super cloudy. I'm going to call this a bad test. It's not fair to a solar panel to test it when the clouds look like this, so we're going to stop it for now. I'm going to go use up the battery on the big Jackery so we can, perform a test that is actually, valuable when the sun pops out. All right, see you guys later. So I started this cut last night, but I will admit that was 100% to get the cool shot. I was waking up my neighbors to do that. Not the straightest cut ever. And yes, I'm doing this without the guard, but I sat there for a good 15 minutes yesterday trying to get that stupid guard to go on. And as soon as I started cutting, it flew off. So I'm like, screw it. That guard is more of a danger to me than the blade is. Probably not, but whatever. This is so much quicker than that hacksaw. All right, we're gonna do this so it doesn't actually go dropping off. Now this is a very crooked cut that I cut last night in the dark. So we're gonna see if I can cut around it. That's not even drop the mic worthy. That makes it so freaking easy. Okay. Nice. Alrighty. Line that up at the side. Did all this spacing last night, so I kind of feel like I'm cheating. Yeah, I even got the holes where they need to be. Total cheating. That's okay. And this 2x4, I had bigger plans for it than to just sort of be a really cool guidepost. But I did some research last night and was convinced that my idea of drilling through this into the bottom rail here was a bad idea. Whatever. I'll just keep the 2x4s on there because I got no other use for them maybe. At this point, just don't care. And this one I made 82 inches instead of 80. So I've got so much extra uni strut to grab onto. It's not even funny. Really tempted to put those other two panels on, but I can't hook them up. I would just be exposing them to theft, you know, for the time I'm gone. And just in case these ones walk off, at least I got two more to replace them because the solar guy is gone until sometime, well, I don't know. Okay. The rack's built. That's weird. Just missing two panels. I got a shipment notification that sent me to a FedEx location an hour away to pick it up, but it was worth the drive. And it is a material change to the power situation here. Let's go check it out. Whoa. Okie dokie. Pecron. Yeah. Wow. Pecron is almost as good as Apple at their packaging. Another handy briefcase. So this thing got lost somewhere crossing the United States. And it said weather exception. I wasn't aware of anything going on. Oh, come on now. Let go. This is the Pecron EB3000, 3072 watt hours. Don't know how that translates to amp hours. So the main Pecron, that is 2000 watt hours. This is an additional 3072 and I'm excited. So I'm assuming in this is the really cool umbilical. Wow. All new set of crazy stuff. Something with jumpers, cigarette lighter thingy, another one of these crazy microphone connectors, another cigarette lighter thingy, and this, the umbilical. I might actually RTFM this thing. It looks like this might be able to, okay, yeah. I'm just showing you this now because the rest of it's going to be inside and it's dark in there. So this plugs into there, and this plugs into the existing Pecron, and all sorts of hijinks ensue at that point. But it looks like this thing can be charged and used independent of the Pecron, which I have no intention of doing. So, having said all that, let's go set it up. Okay, so we've got EB3000 plugged into the E2000 LFP. Let's, again, do this together. Oop. I feel like something should happen. Now that I've tucked it all in nicely, maybe I should have read the manual. Gosh dang it. Stand by. So I ended up RTFMing that. So not like me. So not like me. And it turns out the main Pecron, the E2000 and the EB2000, in order to be initially cascaded, they're power levels need to be within 10% of each other. And right now the Pecron is at 35% and the EB3000 expansion battery came at 75%. That's why you hear the generator on. Anyways, needless to say, my capacity just more than doubled. So my charging capability, it more than doubled, and it's gonna double that as soon as I get back. And now my battery capacity more than doubled. So as I was saying earlier, for now my power needs are met and well met. Anyways, I'm gonna sit there and watch this happen. The manual made it sound like there's nothing really theatrical that happens. Matter of fact, the display gets kind of confusing. I'll probably just skip that. Know that it's awesome and very timely. With both the Pecron and the expansion battery charged up to 75% and this charging it every day, yeah, my cameras are gonna stay on. I have no doubt. I'll keep you posted though. Just wanted to show you the best example of the difference here. So I've got the air conditioning cranked, 374 watts with 71% battery capacity. This is saying it could go for 10 hours. Air conditioning on, compressor on. Normally at 71% it would say it can go for just under 4 hours. So this is groovy stuff. I'm super thrilled about this. See that little green light down there? That's the cascade indicator. So we're happy. The manual is not super extensive, but I kind of went to YouTube and got a new certification, a Pecron certification, baby. I had to go through some of the settings here and actually tell this guy that it now had a capacity of 4,992 watts as opposed to 1,992 watts. Yes, we're used to living in an Apple world where crap just sort of syncs up and recognizes itself and plays nice, but Pecron is just not there yet, but it's still a fantastic device and I couldn't be happier. Welcome back, YouTube family and friends. This is my first day back after being down south for a week. I wish I had a lot of blow-by-blow data for how the solar did, which is where we left off, but all I know is it has been pretty cloudy for most of this week and the Pecron, it held in there. It's down to 6%, so it's limping, but like I left the internet on, I left the all the cameras on. Anyways, it's lunchtime right now. It's lunchtime right now. I'm gonna see if I can't get the last 2 panels on during lunch. The only thing that can make this anything other than very straightforward is gravity. I expect it to just kind of go floop, slide right off. Like I said, metal on metal, no bueno. But the Pecron's been limping along with 550 watts of potential. Yeah, 550 watts of potential, solar panel. These are each 275. I think that's the math. So let's add 2 more so we can get it up to 1100. Then I think it's gonna do just fine. The Jackery didn't last. So my refrigerator has been dead this, I don't know. The Jackery's at 100%. So once it goes down to 0, it shuts off any output. Like it shuts off the AC and the DC, and it doesn't turn that back on without human intervention. So it'll charge, it just won't power anything. I actually have to turn around and go back down south tomorrow. That's why I want to get these 2 panels on. I think it's going to do okay. Good to see you again. Let's get going. All right, so we got the last 2 panels on. It was a bit of an adventure with gravity and stuff. The key point is it's on. So now we get to, well, first I already did what cable management I could. I need these 2 MC4 connectors to be as close to this guy as possible. Because remember last week, the 20-footer, like this is a 20-footer, this red and black, and it barely made it into there. So I got another 20-footer. It was already on the way before I discovered that. I think we're gonna be okay though. We'll see. So now we're gonna see if my pull cable works for, PV cables. It works great in like the Cat 6 world, but Cat 6 is super bendy and giving compared to this PV cable, which is 10 gauge. Let's see what happens. Alrighty. So again, we're going to separate these bad boys. Let's start with red. Why not? The key here, when you're attaching to a pull cable, is to really just put as much friction across as much real estate as possible, because you don't want this coming, if this comes undone mid-pipe, I'm excavating the pipe. And that's it for me, because I'm going straight to hell because of what's going to come out of my mouth. So we don't want that. Nope. Stop. Stop. I'm just hoping this goes just as smooth as the original one did. Again, I wanted this to be done and terminated before we ran out of sun, but yeah, I think it's about 5:30 right now, and even on a good day we'd be almost out of sun. All right, this is for the money. Take the tape off of that. Don't know which one of these I got a hold of, so I got the right one. Okay, here goes. All right, all the tape part is in. Man, we've got to be past the first 45. Give myself some slackarooski. Come on, baby. How we doing in there, buddy? My fear is that this pink cable has wrapped itself around these existing ones, and like it's having to go through wires pinched on top of each other, which would suck. Come on. Oh, I don't want to pull this hard. I think we're screwed. I don't know, that feels like something solid I'm bumping into. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to sink the black cable. See if maybe I can get that one through. Then I'm going to dig up this part right here to see if maybe because it feels and sounds like it's catching right at the bottom of this. If that's the case, that's fine. I can deal with that. Yes. Oh, snap. That's bad. Black came through, but it took some of the pink cable with it. That is not what we want at all. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, it's the pinks that got caught up. Okay, nice. So that I can live with. Yeah, baby. All right. Hey, that is not bad at all. That falls squarely on any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Time for the oh man. Drop my scissors in the sand. That's bad. Scissor people are going to be like, dude. Yep. All right, we're through. Woohoo. All right, so this tells us a couple of things. So for right now, as much as I would love to run these cables, along here and along here, we're not going to have room. Basically, me running them directly here, there's barely enough extension right now to go through the wall. I'm not going to plug those in now because I don't want to go touching live wires, but let's do this. All right, so this guy can be there. Yep, that is pretty much it right there. That sucks a lot. That sucks a whole lot. Holy crap. All right, you're not seeing any of this. I'll get some extension cord and fix this another time, but for right now I just want to get those things hooked up to the Pecron again because I'm leaving it. So I'm going to even skip going up over this thing. All right, I guess I got to work this problem backwards. I'm going to go ahead and put the hole in the wall, stick the wires through, crimp them, see what I can pull back this way. So let's do it that way. I'm not going to bring you with me to do the whole hole in the wall. It was great the first time, but I'll see you when it's done. Okay, so crimping is done. Come on, dang it. Okay, so we're connected on this side. Let's go see what in this awesome cloudy after 6 o'clock p.m. sun is going to add to the whole charging equation. All right, I know you can see it fine, so I'm just going to, anyways. Right now we're getting 45 watts, which is not bad for the fact that it's 6 o'clock. So let's see if this, comes close to doubling it. Look at that. It doubled it. So I am going to say that these things work. Okay. That's great. Still not going to be enough to, I'm not going to leave with 8%. Anyways, I'm glad that worked. That should, sometimes top 1,000 watts. Nominally, it's 1,100, but that'll have to be like the sun is sitting right on top of it for us to get that. But I'm excited that it's done. I want to show you just how hardcore these freaking new panels are, okay? All right. So there's proof it's raining right now. Also proof my harvesting system can use some plugging. Okay, anyways. I'm not going to stop the video. I'm even going to track mud in. But my Pecron is still getting 17 watts in the rain. Ha! That's freaking awesome. I mean, it's not going to charge anything. Certainly a lot less than the 64 watts that are being consumed by the internet, but those are good panels. I'm happy with them. So I'm glad I got that done. On to the next thing. Just to wrap up this sort of part 2 of the solar stuff, solar sequence, anyways, it's nice to have all 4 panels up there. I'm sure one of these days the sun's going to break through the clouds and we're going to actually get 1100 watts or something close. It's a game changer to have this, to have the Pecron battery expansion for my size, not for this, but for when I make my cabin. That's a house, that's a whole house solution there. Maybe we'll get another backup because you can expand to 2 of those Pecron EB3000 batteries. So probably get 2 eventually, because like this whole next week, it's cloudy. I'm going back down south in the morning and I fully expect to lose power sometime during that week. But we'll see. This is just a good picture here. I'm collecting water, collecting sun, collecting water, collecting energy. Let me try that again. I'm harvesting water. I'm harvesting the sun. Life's good. Can't complain. The last thing I'll eventually do, if this wasn't going into a Pecron, if this was going into, say, a charge controller and batteries, so it was like a more DIY built from the ground up solution, I would have one of those cutoff switches for the solar panels, like between the solar panel and the charge controller. And I have those, they're in there somewhere, but I'm not super worried about them going into the Pecron. Is the Pecron at risk? Sure, it is. Frankly, if something's going funky, it's going to take me just as long to squeeze through there and turn that switch than it is to just rip those Pecron cables out of the front. I will put that in eventually. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time. Take care.